Here we are on Tuesday of Holy Week, the holiest week. The Gospel reading today from the Gospel of Luke, like many of the readings this week, including the Passion narrative from Palm Sunday Mass, emphasize how Jesus' closest disciples betray and abandon him at his darkest hour. Disciples accuse each other at the celebratory Passover Seder of being the one who would betray Jesus. That argument then devolves into people disputing who among them is best, who is the greatest. Judas sells knowledge of Jesus' whereabouts for 30 pieces of silver. Disciples cannot stay awake and present in Jesus' time of anguished prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane. Peter denies Jesus 3 times as Jesus is being detained, and then Peter goes away weeping, not to be heard about again in the narrative until after Jesus is risen. And most of us during Holy Week have imagined being in the place of one of these biblical characters. We're accustomed to playing the role of those who reject Jesus, calling out, "Crucify him, crucify him," during the Palm Sunday and Good Friday liturgies. And Holy Week can indeed be an appropriate time to feel the heavy weight of being a sinner who sends Jesus to the cross and either mocks or abandons him there. For instance, in yesterday's reading, we may be used to seeing Mary of Bethany as the emotional woman pouring expensive perfume on Jesus' feet, as little more than a prop for Jesus to make the point that the real story here is that the traitor Judas cares more about money than the poor. Yes, greed, betrayal, violence, abandonment, and fear, all of these are undeniably part of the Holy Week story. But so too are courage, faithfulness, accompaniment, wisdom, and compassion, also undeniably part of the story of Holy Week. And it begins with Mary of Bethany's anointing in yesterday's Gospel. This Holy Week, due in large part to the Lenten retreat I participated in, focusing on the experiences of the disciples who do not betray, abandon, or flee during Jesus' time of trial, I'm paying more attention to Mary of Bethany's act of anointing as a sacred act of consecrating Jesus, as a prophet might anoint a king. And from here on out in the story, he's not just Jesus of Nazareth, but Jesus Christ, the Messiah, Christos, the Anointed One. A soul friend gave me a small vial of the nard that Mary uses, and I'm telling you, it's serious business. Hardly a perfume. A more faithful translation of that word is ointment, so spikenard. It has a very strong odor, and I like it, but you wouldn't necessarily call it a floral fragrance. Mary of Bethany, she does not deny who Jesus is. She anoints him, the Christ. This Holy Week, well aware that I can be motivated by fear, by an instinct to protect myself and my possessions, that I can be absent and unkind, mean even, I want to look to spiritual exemplars who witness conviction, courage, and compassion in the face of unimaginable pain, who show me what it looks like to walk without flinching alongside one who suffers, who know that without death, there's no such thing as any meaning in life. As many of you know who have participated in the Women Who Stay series at Holy Trinity throughout the past 4 years, in all 4 canonical Gospels, it is the women who stay with Jesus on the road to Calvary at the cross, who go to the tomb with spikenard to anoint his body, and it is to these faithful disciples, not just an amorphous group of random women, the women, but disciples who are named in the Gospels: Mary Magdalene, Mary, the wife of Clopas, Susanna, Johanna, Salome, the mother of Zebedee's sons, James and John, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, of course, Jesus' mother Mary, and countless other disciples left unnamed, who are with Jesus from the beginning, with him to the end, and are the ones he sends out as the first apostles to spread the news of his resurrection. Lord, how I want to be there on that morning when the new world is revealed. Oh Lord, how I want to be in that number.